Welcome back, everyone, as we continue our playthrough here on Grand Tactician: The Civil War in my career mode. This is the Battle of Winchester. It is my first official battle as a major general in command of my own army, small though it may be. And to start this battle, I've only got about 3,000 men on the field, though I do have more coming. If you haven't seen the campaign up to this point, because it's been a few weeks since we played, I've been traveling a lot for my work with Rachel's Challenge the last couple of weeks, but we're ready to get back into this and play it through to the end. If you haven't seen the campaign so far, there's a link in the description that'll take you back to episode 1. It's October 3rd, 1863, Battle of Winchester, and let me just show you what we're dealing with here. We currently just have one brigade on the field for us, about 3,000 men. I'm in the process of building up this army and recruiting some new units, but I don't have the prestige to do that yet. Once I have a little more prestige, I'll be able to recruit some more units, build up my army. We do have Wood's 1st Division arriving in about 17 hours from Berryville. That's going to increase me up to about 9,000 men. I don't know if I'm going to be in command of all forces on the field or just my forces. We'll find that out when they start arriving, but most of them are not going to be arriving until the next morning. So we're going to have to get through the rest of this day without that. Okay, our 3,000 men, which is all we have, of course. Doubleday withdrew because he's a brigade commander without a brigade so far. Looks like we're actually going to run into them on the Berryville Pike. And it's interesting that that's where they're coming, or they're going to hit us, because that keeps us actually relatively close to right over here, which is, I think, where our reinforcements are going to come from. They're supposed to come from Berryville. So looks like the 13th Maine Infantry is going to be the unit that makes first contact here. They've got Springfield muskets and only 40 rounds of ammo. So they're going to have to engage right there, and we're going to have to start rushing these other units up to meet them. I'm just going to give these guys orders to just go straight at that brigade, because what that does is that takes the delay out of things. All right, the artillery is already moving this direction, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get the artillery up, like right here. He has some reinforcements coming as well. We've got, I mean, literally tens of thousands of men arriving. Look at this. It's just not just the Army of the Potomac for me. It's the Army of the Ohio. Department of Pennsylvania, huge. They've got 3 full divisions. We've got the 30th Corps, the 31st Corps, which only has one brigade or one regiment so far. But of course, the Confederates have a lot of men coming as well. I'm a little concerned about how well the 13th Maine is going to do by themselves. Here comes the 2nd Brigade, or 2nd Regiment. Come on, boys, get there. I'm going to have to give them a run order. Double time. Double time it, boys. 13th Maine can't hold on by itself, especially with more and more rebels coming down that road all the time. Oh, boy. This is going to be rough. Come on, boys, hold. Augustus Moore. This day will give you a star, sir, if you hold until the others arrive. I'll have to remember that I said that. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Get there. You don't really think about the urgency factor of reinforcements that would have really existed for these guys until you're in a situation like this, where you realize that even the slightest time difference in terms of when these guys arrive can make all the difference in the world. Oh, come on, baby. You can hold. You got this. You got fellow Mainers coming. These are all Maine. We got the 15th Maine, the 13th Maine, the 17th Maine. And the 36th District of Columbia Battery with 24 pounders. How we doing? I think they're going to hold. Reinforcements arrive? His reinforcements arrived. That doesn't particularly help me, because mine don't arrive till the next day, really. You're going to arrive around 6 a.m. the next day. I think you guys are going to hold, though. Well done. Well done. The question is, how long will they be able to hold once their support arrives? Will that give them a boost? Because having support on their flanks, it is showing. They're actually already showing the boost from support, which is interesting because the support's not there yet. Alright, 17th Maine's almost there. They're actually overtaking the 15th Maine because the 15th Maine apparently never got the order about double time. Or they just got tired. Alright, boys. Let's do this. We're going to get our artillery fire in here in just a second. They're forming up. There we go. Who was wounded? Augustus Moore was wounded. Oh, no. He's still getting that promotion to Brigadier General. If I can give it to him. I mean, I don't think I can promote him to Brigadier General in command of a regiment. But if we can find a place to put him in command of a brigade. All right, boys, let's do this. Of course, the enemy's got 14,000 men on the field now. All of these guys have Springfield muskets, so we're not really dealing with great weapons. And now that they lost their commander, I'm concerned they're not going to hold that center. And this is all we have to fight with for the next, 16 hours? 15 hours. Alright, boys. How about our guns? They're idle. Do they not have line of sight? I don't think they have line of sight here. We need to get them up on a hill somewhere. That should do it over there. Either that or we could plug them right into this gap. The 13th Maine's probably going to be leaving in just a second. I'm going to try to rally them as best I can. Kind of funny because there's only a single brigade on the field, so the division commander only has that one brigade to command, and me as the army, or in this case it's really a corps commander, only have just the one brigade to command. So there's like 3 levels of command for this one brigade. How are we doing in terms of the inflicting casualties? It's pretty even, considering he's got 23,000 men on the field now. Need to watch because those guys are going to be coming down the pike before too long, I'm sure. Can't put any skirmishers out because we're already engaged. We're taking too many casualties. We've lost 11% of our brigade. I just don't think we're going to be able to hold until reinforcements arrive. We're not really going to be doing anything here for the foreseeable future. So, is that another brigade or regiment that just showed up and I saw them as they were walking away? Interesting. Yeah, we're just not inflicting enough casualties. Our guns have opened up, though. 13th just broke. Darn it. Alright, boys, keep up your fire as best you can, but see now these guys are going to be able to turn their facing right toward us. And now they're going to start taking casualties. But both of these these regiments are pretty strong. They're both near 1,000 men. They should be able to hold for a while. Just got to keep an eye out for any of the other rebels that are going to show up. Because if a whole division shows up somewhere, I'm totally screwed. Nice! We just drove them back. But here come more men. I get it, Moore. I get it. You did your job. You held as long as you could. But now we're going to have to face fresh regiments coming in, and I just don't see how we do it. Part of me wants to bring the battery up, but I'm not sure that's a good idea either. Oh, they pulled back to a position where they're out of range of my muskets. I just charged into my right flank with cavalry. A little concerned about what that's going to do to the 17th Maine. Looks like they're going to break. They've lost almost 300 men. I think this battle's going to be lost before it even begins. Yeah, we're going to have to pull out, unfortunately. Okay, here's the end result. We lost 910 men. Of our eventual 9,000 we'll have, so about 10% of our entire division, though it was a much higher percentage of the forces that were actually on the field. We did gain nearly 300 prestige, but that's not a whole lot. We only inflicted about 600 casualties on Stonewall Jackson's army. All right, so unfortunately I cannot promote Augustus Moore because he's wounded, and you can't promote anyone unless they're on active duty, so... we do have to replace him, though, because we need somebody in command of that regiment. So I want to look and see who's available. In particular, I want to look from Maine. I'm curious if Joshua Chamberlain is available, because I'd love to throw him in there if he is. It looks like he is not. Where is he? Hell, he was killed. No way. He was killed. Was that the Battle of Bel Air? No, he was killed at the Battle of Moorfield, June 10th, 1863. Dang. That's crazy. All right, so we'll have to figure out somebody else from Maine that we can throw in there. Doesn't look like there's a lot of great options, honestly. Nor are there really any that I've heard of here. Aaron Daggett it is. All right, I spent some prestige to add another unit, the 2nd Kentucky. They're going to join before too long. I don't think we have the ability to upgrade our weapons. It does not appear that we do. So I don't know if there's a way we can do that at some point, but it won't happen yet. There appear to be some Confederate troops that are up here in Pennsylvania where I feel like they would probably have some poor morale. Though there is a decent amount of them. There's 16,000 of them. I think if I move my army up here, when you count the other armies in the area, we might have the manpower to get a victory there. And if I can get a victory, we can maybe drive up that prestige. I can start to build up my army a little more. So I'm waiting. Oh, looks like they retreated south, so we're not going to get that chance. All right, so I've moved my forces down to Washington because it doesn't seem like there's as much kind of congestion there. Alexandria is in the hands of the Confederates, so we're going to move. Our 2nd Division isn't able to move at the moment because their readiness is just trash. So we really just have the 1st Division to work with. So we're going to move our 6,000 men of our 1st Division across the Potomac and secure Alexandria. And I think that's probably where we may end up wintering while we build up our forces. Well, let's go ahead and see if we can at least secure that ground. I don't know if that'll add any prestige for us to do that. We have marched into Virginia. Oh, we are going to get some action here, though. Oh, boy. We're going to be outnumbered 2-1, it looks like. Although he doesn't have a lot of his men arriving for 13, 16 hours, so I don't even have mine arriving for 2 hours. Honestly, I might deploy to defend in this situation. All right, that's a little better. This is a better situation for us where now we're only facing half our number. I like that. All right, so here's the battlefield. We hold the objectives, so that's good. He appears that he'll be coming in from this side. I expect he'll come down that road and then probably try to hit me here, though he certainly could surprise me and come in from this side. So that's a bit of a concern. I may send one of my reserve brigades, at least, or regiments. I keep saying brigades because I'm so used to it being brigades on this game. We'll send the second Maine with their Henry rifles out here just to kind of keep an eye on this flank, though I expect him to come down this main road. Well, would you look at that? That's exactly what he did. Our cavalry showed up over there and ran right into him. We've got Henry repeaters, but we can't hold up against an entire brigade like this. Oh, I don't want you to ride into them. They're going in for a melee attack. That's the last thing we needed to do with the Henry rifles that we have. All right, I want you guys to dismount. I want you to light them up. Although you're right in there now. I wish they had dug in behind this fence and used their Henrys that way. All right, we're going to have to start moving them in. Second Maine's never going to be able to hold there. But I've got the numbers, so we'll use that to our advantage. Let's get our guns up on the hill as best we can. Yeah, they're already broken. Darn it, 212 men lost. That's frustrating. All right. Okay, we're starting to get in position. 4th Iowa's in position. 6th Iowa's going to be moving into their left. We're trying to line up along this fence, which is going to put him just out of our range. But that's okay. We'll send out skirmishers if we need to. Actually, he'll be in range on this side. I do have a unit coming in from the other brigade that's going to come into their left. We're going to hold one in reserve. We'll try to get our guns into position up here on the hill. So they can start firing. If we can get a victory, maybe we can get some decent prestige out of it. We've got the numbers. Got them almost, not quite 2-1. We'll probably have to swing around to the right here when we get a chance. But we'll work on him on our left here first. 9th Maine's getting into position there. 11th Maine's going to be held in reserve. Walter Whitaker. All right, we're going to have to send some skirmishers forward. Oh, we can't because we're engaged. Yeah, we're probably going to have to move forward from the bridge, or from the fence. We just don't have the range with these muskets. But I want to get my guns into position first. Okay, these guys are firing. We'll get the DC battery firing here soon. And then I think we'll probably swing around here. I'm going to get the brigade commander moved up. All right, let's swing around with these 2 regiments so we can start engaging the enemy. Once they're in position and they're firing, then we'll move forward with the left. It's kind of the plan here. We'll see how it plays out. It's nice to finally be able to control a division level force and not just single regiments. All right, boys, move up. Move up. Okay, we're going to try to get some fire on these guys, although I am exposing the left of the 4th Iowa to some flanking fire from that battery, so I think we're going to need to move up here too. All right, boys, let's do this. Back up to about right there. I can see all the action. All right, I feel good about this. As long as we can perform on the battlefield, we'll be okay. I do have 1 regiment in reserve. Casualties identical at the moment, so we'll be able to kind of see in real time how our performance is on the battlefield. His morale's higher than ours, but it's pretty well even at the moment. Wish I had better weapons, except for those Henrys, which those guys are gone, so at least for now. We're inflicting more than we're taking. That's the good news. As long as that keeps up, I think we'll be okay. Let's get up and kind of look at the bird's eye view here a little bit. Making sure our guns are firing. They are. Looks like we're going to drive off to 65th West Virginia here. 40 casualties there. We've lost 6 men from the 4th Iowa. 6th Iowa's lost 42. 9th Maine hasn't lost a man yet. They're also not really in range. All right, let's start moving up. There we go. We've driven back his left flank. Let's push up to the fence. Gonna get ourselves a victory here. I wonder if there's... I would love to think that there's some kind of like bonus prestige for winning a battle when you're the commander on the field, but we'll see. There we go, boys. Keep pushing forward. Want to zoom out a little bit because I want to... All right. We've driven off most of the infantry. There's 1 brigade still there, or 1 regiment still there. I want to charge these guns. Who's that last regiment? 69th West Virginia. There you go, boys. Take those guns. Take them. I'm going to watch that prestige, see if it goes up at all. Probably no more than for just routing them. Be cool if you could get some for capturing guns, though. Alright, what's happening here? We got 25 for routing. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Probably the best it's gonna get. Grab those guns. Enemy is retreating. Awesome. I think we've done enough for today, boys. We've won a great victory on the battlefield. Now, not a great victory, but a victory with me as the commander on the field, so I'll take it. And we'll see what the final numbers look like. That's another 400 prestige. That should be enough to recruit another regiment. So every time I gain a couple hundred prestige, I'm able to do that. Although I wonder at some point if there might not be a better use of those. I wonder if I can upgrade weapons or something that might be more effective long term. So we'll take a look. Okay, so it looks like it's about 125 prestige to upgrade a single regiment. That's only 259-man regiment to Springfield Rifled Muskets. So yeah, we're not going to do that. I'm curious to look and see if one of my bigger units, if it's going to cost the same. Yeah, it is. It's 125 to do it either way. So that might be worth it with one of my bigger units like that. There we go. We'll do that. Would be nice if it would have done it for all of them, but I mean that gets pretty expensive. But if we fight a big battle somewhere and we gain a lot of prestige, that might work out okay. So my troops got driven out of Alexandria in a battle that actually just auto-resolved, but it did gain me some more prestige. I'm up to 674, and just kind of talk through what I've been doing here. We do have the 3rd Rhode Island arriving in 8 days, the 2nd Kentucky arriving in 13 days, and a 47th Maryland that I just recruited. These are draftees. They're going to arrive in 12 days. I've sent the 13th Maine home to refit because they were down to like 200 men. We have upgraded I moved a couple of units around too to kind of balance out the brigades a little more in terms of size. Though Couch's brigade's still by far the smallest, so I might go ahead and add another regiment to them if I can here. Where do we want to go from? Let's go from Connecticut, and we'll add a unit of volunteers. That'll spend some of our prestige, but that'll get Couch's numbers up similar to the other brigades, give all of them around 3,000 men. And then I want to probably go ahead and use the rest of this to upgrade some of these units. Spencer repeating rifles for an infantry unit. The range is still decent. 16 is the rate of fire. How much would that cost to upgrade? Only 107. Yeah, let's totally do that. We'll get a nice little balance. I don't want everybody to have Spencers just because they'll run out of ammo so fast. But it's certainly not the worst thing in the world to have some. Let's get some Springfield Rifled Muskets. 125 for that. It's really expensive to upgrade artillery, even for 6 guns, so I'm not going to do that at the moment. That gets us down to 265 prestige. I should probably look at my character bio and see if there's anything I can be spending money or anything on. I love that I'm called blue-eyed now. Have you seen my eyes? They're like about as dark brown as you can get. But yeah, they're going to call me blue-eyed. I've got high fame, high leadership. Let's take a look at our actions here for a second. We do have some stuff available to us. What would a raiding party do? Get a partisan leader to follow your unit. Has suggested to form a raiding party. Pay him to participate to increase your cunning. That's cool. Mission command. This will increase your initiative. Reassurance. Reconcile. I'm not too worried about that. Increases my money by 300 if I become a gambler. I don't know if I want to do that. Throw a party will gain me some prestige. Leverage. Marksmanship. That'll increase your infantry experience in your unit and your leadership. I like that. Let's go ahead and add that. Looks like you can stack these. Okay, that's cool. So looking at the overall situation here in the Eastern Theater, the Confederates have really pushed up in a pretty hardcore way up into Maryland and Pennsylvania. They've driven the Union Army from Chambersburg. They're pushing up into Brownsville, which is down south of Pittsburgh. So we really need to find some way of relieving the pressure on those armies. And I think the best way to do that is to make some kind of a foray into Northern Virginia. But in order to do that, of course, that means we've got to get across the Potomac and establish a toehold here in Alexandria. The Army of South Carolina, let's see, there's Little's division with 15,000 men and Carter's division with 7,000 men. So there's about 22,000 men there. That's twice what I have. Really not a lot I can do on my own without some kind of support, at least not at the moment. Well, hey, here's some good news. While we are in winter quarters now, it's November of 63, we've got our first perk for our Army, and I like the idea of military hospitals or ambulance corps. That's usually what I go with first. Speed reduction due to wounded soldiers is down 25%. Mortality rate of wounded is down 10%. And you level up by attending wounded. So it's a pretty easy perk to level up as well. So I like getting that one. Looks like we're well supplied. Our men are unhappy, but we might need to make some changes to the officers in our Army, which is now up to 11,000 men. So let's take a look and see. Pretty famous guy here in Bull Nelson. Thomas Wood is our division commander there. Isaac Stevens, not a particularly able division commander. Honestly, my commanders aren't great. Is there anybody we could replace Isaac Stevens with? Phil Kearney would be fantastic. I like him a lot. Edwin Sumner would be a good choice too. Yeah, I'm going to put Phil Kearney in there. I've always liked him, and he's one of those guys that we never really got to see what he could do. He probably would have gotten command of the Army of the Potomac at some point if he hadn't been killed in the summer of 1862. Man, he hated McClellan, so I already like him for that reason. Thomas Wood's decent. I feel like we could do better than Doubleday, though. We're going to put Edwin Sumner there in Doubleday's spot. And I might actually try to get one more regiment in there. Or maybe some more infantry in Brannon's brigade, because he's actually got some cav. So let's do that. We're not going anywhere for the winter here, so we've got time to recruit. We'll go with the Rhode Island unit. We don't have the prestige to recruit them. Okay, we'll wait. Where'd my prestige go? Oh, did I have to spend prestige to put Kearney in there? I didn't even pay attention to how my prestige got spent. I bet that's what it was. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up right there. We're going to go into winter quarters, and we'll come back if there's any action in the next episode. If not, we'll pick things up in the spring of 64. Hopefully, we can start influencing the outcome of this war. Let me know your thoughts. Use the comment section below. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.